Hi, I'm JJ Conway, and I help hardworking women and a few good men build financial confidence and take ownership of their financial future. I'm cheering you on with education on financial literacy, smart investments, and passive income streams. Welcome to Ladies of Wealth.
I should have pulled this out before I started, and now I'm feeling around on my desk that I really can't open with me sitting here. All right. Think about how many different kinds of paper clips and binder clips that there are. Okay. Think about how many different kinds of paper clips and binder clips there are. And this, there's an idea, right? Their ideas are energy, and energy does two things. Energy expresses itself and energy expands. We've taken an idea, we've expressed it, and we've expanded. Okay. So somebody had an idea. They've taken it, they expanded. Somebody sent their kids to college off of the paperclip. Somebody provided for them for their retirement home, their nursing home, off of this paperclip. Somebody provided for the third and fourth generations to have an inheritance off of the paperclip. And then you know what else somebody else did? Let's see if I have one in here. I used to. I think I took them to my new office. Somebody came along and created the binder clip. The black ones, you squeeze it and it opens up and you put a stack of paper in and it clamps down on it and holds it. Somebody created the binder clip, and then you fold the other things over, and depending on how nice it looks, it's nice and neat. And then somebody expanded on that. Somebody said, well, that's nice, but it's clunky. That's nice the way that the military does that, but it's clunky. I'm going to make a nice sleek one. And then they made nice sleek ones, and they come in all different sizes, and depending on how many paper you need to do, and it's very nice and sleek. And then people like me, when I did my grad school research, we took that binder clip, we sawed off the edges, we used it. I actually used it in my grad school research to hold some reeds on so I could analyze the thermodynamics of the reed, right? And so people have built entire industries off of expanding just something as simple as a paper clip. And now you've got those little binder clips in all kinds of different colors. And it's funny to me because sometimes I'll see them, they have these big, huge decorative tabs. And I'm like, really? I do too much work. I have too much paper. That's a lot of wasted space for me, but it sells. So somebody must enjoy it. Somebody must enjoy getting a smile out of how their stuff works. I'm a practical person. Somebody else likes things to look pretty. Everybody's different. And guess what? Somebody made good money on that. So look at what it is that you do. What's the way for you to expand? Okay. What's the way that you can expand? Another example, this is going to sound kind of counterintuitive, so just hear me out. Another example of and understanding the law of compensation is you or I, we can go down to McDonald's, okay? So first off, is there a need for McDonald's French fries? Well, of course there is. Maybe not in my body, but the sign says billions and billions served, right? They are actually pretty good, right? But is there really a need for McDonald's French fries? You bet there is. Okay. Now I'll come back to that in a second. We can go down. We can watch the kid who makes the French fries at the end of, I don't know, maybe 18 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 minutes, right? Like we could probably, however long it takes us to pick up on it, we could probably make them just as good as they do, right? Because there's very little that 18-year-old working a fry booth can do to mess up the best fries in the world, right? It's come on time to work, push the buttons in the order, do the things. You and I can step in and do that, right? And therefore, the dollar amount that young person is earning is very limited. Any of us, oh, y'all, I'm going to tell you what, I wrote this script before Trump did his stint at McDonald's. Ooh, I may have to change to another example, okay? But if you're so any dummy can do it, all right? So if you're gonna enter into the law of compensation, you gotta look at the need for what you do. And the uniqueness of with which you do it, right? So obviously what you need to do, you got to add more skill, talent, and ability and become more aware of the resources that are within you so that the options for you to enter into the need portion of that equation are expanded, okay? I'm not going to be able to reproduce McDonald's fries in my fryer in the kitchen, but maybe I can create something better that meets a different need. Okay. So this is one of the things that I like to do in my 5-star coaching program. We work closely with people and teaching them how to develop their ability to communicate, to speak publicly. Okay. Because most of my clients, they want to be a speaker at some level, whether they want to be on stage or whether they want to be able to communicate in the boardroom, get through a sales presentation, talk to their staff, deal with their wife or their husband. Ooh, y'all. Because if you can communicate your ideas better, more efficiently, more effectively, then you've added more value and you make more money. So I actually have a whole training program for technical leaders. I developed this program when I was still active duty because as I became a leader of other scientists, I realized that scientists and the few engineers that worked with me, a lot of people who were in the technical realm had a lot of difficulty communicating with people who weren't technical. And so understanding that we had to be able to make our points with stories instead of statistics, that was a really huge jump for a lot of scientists. And those who told me they wanted to go into leadership, I'm like, okay, here are the things that you're going to have to learn. And communication skills was one of them. And so my Empowered Technical Leader class is all about how do you take that natural tendency to focus on the data and to analyze the data and to draw rich conclusions out of the data. How do you take that ability and harness it in a way that makes sense to people who wouldn't know good data if it hit them in the face? And let me tell you, if you are a non-technical leader today, I'm not trying to be offensive, but let me tell you what most of your technical people think of you. They wonder, why are you in this position? And so that's another thing that I teach is helping people value everybody on the team. Ooh, that's not in my script, y'all. That's a freebie. All right, but seriously, be thinking about the need for what you do. Think about what you're doing right now. And are you on the right side of the need for what you do? Are you where you really need to be? Okay. I remember when my son told me he wanted to have one of those YouTube channels. He did have a YouTube channel, but he wanted to have a YouTube channel where he was like a gamer and all the kids would come and learn tips and tricks. Now he's very, very good at whatever game that was that he used to play before he graduated. I think it was Fortnite or something like that. It was one of those that was kind of like borderline because it was a lot of shooting and everything, but on the other hand, there was an awful lot of real world stuff with it. So at the time I was okay with it, but I was like, look, honey, you're not allowed to play video games as long as you need to be able to play them in order to get that good that somebody's going to pay you to show them tips and tricks on the thing. Well, it doesn't mean he doesn't love it and it doesn't mean it's good for him. But what it ended up meaning is he had to learn how to maximize his time. And the sad part, that's not sad. The good part about it is he found a way to become so good that over time, he became one of the best at it. He was constantly winning all his stuff. And so, he could have had, I think he would have a better career being an engineer, but he could have made something out of that. Now that esports are a thing in colleges, like esports are actually varsity sports now, if I'd have known no, I wouldn't have changed it. But the reality is, I was like, look, you're not going to have the opportunity because your mama not going to let you sit on that box all day. Okay. But if there's a great need for what you do, and even if you become the world master, just like you become the best French fry maker at McDonald's, the likelihood of you making riches is slim to none. Unless if when you're in that role, making those French fries and you've entered into the commitment, I'm making these French fries, maybe be the best McDonald's French fry maker you can be the best employee, have your name on the wall every month, be the best, be the very best, be your highest self. Now things begin to change. And your value isn't just that you can make some good fries. Your value is that you bring value to the organization. And that's true of all of life, isn't it? Everything that we do. So what I love about this, and we're gonna jump back up in and we're gonna talk more about imagination, but I need you to get this today, okay? The need for what you do is there in lots of different areas. Now, this book is about money, okay? But this line here about your ability to do it is the service that you're going to provide for the money, okay? So your ability to do whatever service you're going to provide and how good you're going to get at providing that service is key. And that's in this book is talking about money, but it really applies to everything. You want the best marriage? Evaluate your ability to be a good partner. what service you're going to provide and decide how good you're going to get at providing that service. I had to learn how to communicate with my partner in small bits, not an hour-long vent session where I get even madder because he stops paying attention and doesn't remember what I said anymore. Not that I've ever done that. Yes, I have, y'all. Yes, I have. I had to learn the hard way. That is not a way to fix things. You want the best kids? You want the best kids? You want the kids that are just, they're just a joy to come home to? Evaluate your ability to be a good parent and what service you're going to provide and decide with action. Decisions are nothing until you take action. Decisions are just wishes without action. How good you're going to get at it. I had to learn how to meet my boys where they are, not where I wanted them to be. All right. So, according to the disc inventory, I'm a high D personality. I can't just relax and watch a movie if I have a pile of work that needs to be done that night. That's just not my style. But I actually enjoy getting work done, right? And especially now that I'm a full-time employee of myself, right? I'm a full-time business owner, full-time entrepreneur. The work that I need to get done is stuff that I choose to get done, right? So I like to get the work done and then play. Work hard, play hard, man. But my sons, they are both high eyes. Then they don't like work like I do. They need fun, lots of fun breaks inserted into whatever they do. Okay. And whatever they're doing, you got to make it fun. I learned how to sing song the homework. Oh my goodness, y'all. I hate it. It frustrates me. But when I learn to meet them on their level, when I learn to sing song the homework, when I learn to tickle the belly instead of stop playing around, we got work to do, it worked. Givers gain. And not only how good you get at doing it, because I mean, let's think about this. Have you ever found somebody who's really good, like really, really good at what they do, but they're a jerk, right? Right? It's not just your ability and your skill set, but your ability to be the most cooperative, nicest person, the easiest person to work with. I very much value my reputation as a speaker who is easy to work with, that I'm a nice person to do business with. Okay. And so I told you about my 5-star coaching, and I told you about my empowered technical leader coaching. And part of it is how our platform speakers able to move their products, and how the 5-star program. And one of the things is, like, don't just be an expert, but be a likable expert. I mean, all things being equal, be a nice person. Like, don't make people guess whether you're nice or not. Be nice. Be nice. And it's amazing when you make a commitment to be nice. Boy, does the world give you all kinds of opportunities to be nice. All kinds of them, right? All types of ways for you to be nice. Now, I'm not saying be taken advantage of, okay? But it's your ability to do it, your ability to be nice. It's your ability. And it's not just in the doing, it's in your being. And you could say you enter into the spirit of it. So you can see somebody who's really good, but if they're really good at it and they're just going through the motions, they're not entering into the spirit of it. They're not bringing their life force into it. And even though they may be very, very good, it's not the same. I'll give you a really good prime example, okay? A friend of mine has a daughter with a rare chromosome disorder, and she needed the very best doctor in the world to perform surgery. Had to be the best, or they weren't going to do business with that guy, right? Typical surgeon. They talked about surgeons. You know how surgeons don't have good bedside manners, right? This guy's the best in the world. He trains every other doctor in the world who learns that procedure. But you got to get to know him a little bit to appreciate it, right? Kind of got to dig beneath the surface to kind of find him. But he made a huge difference in baby girl's life. Number one, remember the need for what you do. Number two, your ability to do it. And that kind of takes care of number three, really, doesn't it? And yeah, you're not going to say, well, let's go find somebody cheaper. But I don't know about you, but I'm not a world leading surgeon who trains other surgeons. I'm a financial planner who teaches people how to get out of debt and to invest without going into more debt. There's a million financial planners out there. Now, there's not a million financial planners out there who don't believe in debt. Okay, there's probably hundreds, right? But even with financial planners, there are probably hundreds who use wealth attraction principles like I do to overcome almost $1 million of debt. Okay, so even then, I'm not unique in that. I thought I was, but I'm not unique in that, right? But the clients that have been with me for years, they know that I'm direct, and they're here for me being direct. And they also know that, that I've walked the walk, and I'm gonna tell them like it is, and I'm gonna have all these ideas because 'cause I'm an ideas person, and I'm also good on the plan. So I don't just come up with the pie in the sky idea, I actually evaluate the plan, and I'm good at evaluating the plan. I'm not always so good at executing the plan, I'll be honest with you about that. I gotta hire people around to help me execute sometimes, but I'm good at coming up with a good plan. Some people just come up with stuff and then you're like, "Where did you get that from? And did you get it to the next phase of actually flushing it out?" So if you're not somebody who flushes out ideas, before you put money on an idea, please hire somebody that flushes them out. That just happens to be my thing. Like I'm the person that asks a question to figure out what we can do different and better. I'm the person that comes up with a plan for figuring out what to do better. And then I do that level of research to make the plan a workable plan. And then it's time for somebody else to galvanize everybody around it, and it's time for somebody else to execute. So right, but people who know, but what many of our fields, the person who gets the gig is the one who's likable and easy to work with and fits in with the team. Now, if you're like me and you're like, I'm not going to fit in with untowardness, well, then you're just gonna have to accept that that's the money you're gonna have to leave on the table, and I'm okay with that because I don't need your bad money. All money is not good money, okay? Now, let's link this discussion. Wow, we're already at 50 minutes, but it was important, y'all. That was important groundwork, okay? Let's link this discussion really into the imagination. Ideas are key for providing our service, of course. Plans are key for delivering the service, innovation and creativity and all those things. Imagination plays a role in all of those. But now we're going to see that what a kind of potential imagination gives us. So if you're following along in your book, or if you're using the online thing, if you're using my version with the line, whether it's the printer or the online, we're going to go to line 22 all the way back to the beginning. Okay. We're going to go all the way back to the beginning. Okay. And we're going to look at how imagination gives us the infinite potential. It gives us extraordinary power, y'all. Look at this. Look at this. Okay. Um, let's see, where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Uh-oh. Why am I not finding what I'm looking for? Okay. Because I went to the wrong chapter. Like I said, even every chapter starts over. Sorry, y'all. I'm like, that's line 22, but that's not saying what I wanted to say. Well, you know what? I'm already interrupted. Let me take a little sip. Okay. Man's line 22 of the imagination chapter. Man's only limitation within reason lies in his development and use of his imagination. Okay. I want you to write that down. Man's only limitation within reason lies in his development and use of his imagination. Man, if you're using the book, highlight it, write it down, circle it, star it, whatever you do. Okay. Your only limitation, your only limitation of what you can accomplish, what you can achieve, lies within your imagination. And I think imagination is in this regard like faith, right? In that people don't realize they can develop their imagination. You really can develop it. I remember just saying, well, like, I'm not going to need a chapter on imagination. Imagination is the devil's playground. Actually, the phrase is an idle mind is the devil's playground, but because we have a very, very good, very powerful, I use it all the time, scripture, casting down all imaginations and everything that exalts itself against the knowledge of Christ. That doesn't mean we don't imagine. It means we evaluate what we imagine and we make sure we bring it into captivity, into the thoughts of the things that the Lord has told us are good and healthy and righteous. Okay. Because all we do is create. That's all you do. All you do is create. I mean, you were made in the image of God. God is the creator. All you do is create. Most of us think we're not creative because life we're living isn't the life we want. But that's not the life I want. And JJ, you're trying to tell me all I do is create. And I'm saying I created this life. Yes, I'm saying you created this life. I didn't create this. I would never create this. Why would I create what I don't want? I'm not creating what I don't want. all you do is create. You are a creative being. You're designed to create. You want to design what we call an empowered life. Remember when we did Designing Your Empowered Life? It was a year-long program. I think we need to do that again. Design a life that you would love. So you got to allow yourself to step back into this place of fantasy and really kind of think about what I would really love. I can feel that I'm losing some of you. So let me say this another way, okay? You are sitting in the park and you see a cell phone come flying past your face, and then you see somebody running after it, right? Already you have thought of 2 or 3 different things that could have possibly happened. Oh, I wonder if that man threw it. I wonder if that's her boyfriend. He found out that she was cheating. Or, like you just come up with stuff. We create all day long. You get a cryptic text from your spouse. You get a cryptic text from y'all. Don't let your boss say, I need to talk to you. You already created, and it's based on your personality. You have already created in your mind what you think happened, and you are already responding. If you think your boss is about to get you a promotion, you're patting yourself on the back and you're walking with a little swag because you just know you're about to go in there and get a promotion. If you think your boss is about to fire you, you're already just down and depressed, and you're thinking, should I just quit now, or should I quit first? And or like you're already going through all the anxiety, and you have no idea that maybe your boss just wanted you to come in there because they wanted to know how to, how to reward your coworker, this was really made real to me a couple years ago. My husband got a text from one of his colleagues in another campus that they used to work together. And he said, I need to talk to you. And this is interesting. When he told me, in my mind, I was like, oh, must be something really, really good happened. In my husband's mind, it was, oh, I must have really messed something up. And he's going to tell me I messed up. In his coworker's mind that he shared with, hey, my colleague from another campus I used to teach with, he wants me to call him. And the colleague was like, oh, something happened to your coworker. So all three of us had different ideas of what could have happened based on our personalities. Me and my ever optimistic personality, like, oh, it's probably something really good, and he can't just text it because he knows he can't really celebrate around all the average people around him, right? No, that wasn't it. The coworker was actually right. There was something that had happened to this colleague, and it wasn't very good. But just like that, we had created in our imagination what we thought happened. We couldn't even have not done it. Now I could have reined it back in. If I'd have been smart back then, I would have probably just, I probably would have just let him talk and not inject myself into this conversation, and just let him talk. We can rein it back in, we can evaluate it, we can change it and change. But the bottom line is we create. And as much as we create in response to anxiety and frustration and fear, 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 how many times do we ever just allow ourselves to just imagine what it is that we would really love? You gotta daydream. Today I had a I can't I gotta find the right time to share it with my husband, but today I had a few minutes in between running around and going to go pick up my son, and I was like, I could get half of a thing done, but I don't like to just get half of a thing done because I still gotta ramp back up later. So I said, you know what, I'm just gonna lay down and I'm just gonna do some visualization. It was like 5 or 7 minutes, that's all I had. And I was like, I'm gonna lay down and I'm gonna do some visualization. And I just visualized something that I want for me and my husband in the future, and it was just so precious to me. And honestly, most people haven't used their imagination correctly since they were in the sandbox. But what would you really love? What would it look like? Do you even know? When I came home from that military trip to find my house sold and divorce papers and $845,000 of divorce debt, I didn't know who I was or what I liked. And I remember my son had a coupon to the ice skating. Some of you've heard this story before. It's still very illustrative. I didn't even have the money to join him, right? Like I just sat on a bench watching him. I was just numb. And this guy was buying a cookie for his wife or girlfriend or whoever it was. I think it was a date now that I think about it. And he asked, "Well, what do you want?" And I realized because she was all and she was trying to pick something. And I realized I have no idea what I would want. If somebody asked me right now, what cookie would I want? I didn't know. I didn't know what I wanted. Because in my life up to that point, I wanted whatever my ex-husband wanted. He was going to criticize whatever I chose anyway, and it was easiest just to go along with whatever he liked. If I was with a group of women, I liked what they liked because I wanted so badly to fit in and make friends and be accepted. And honestly, most of the time when I like something, nobody else likes it. And I'm okay with that now, but I wasn't okay with that back then. And over time, I kind of lost myself. I wore clothes I couldn't stand to please the church mothers. I went to events I couldn't stand, watched shows that grieved my spirit just so I could have something to talk about with my coworkers. Like, how long has it been since you used your imagination to really step into what you would love? To really feel the sun on your face and the sand in between your toes of imagining the life that you want, to really visualize your best health. I think the challenge when we talk about goal setting is that goal setting is an intellectual process. It's a skill, and you can develop that skill. And what that means is you have those intellectual faculties, right? There's perception and reason and the will, there's memory and imagination. And when most people are setting goals, they use the wrong faculty. It's an intellectual process. Yes, and we're using our intellectual mind. And so what most people do is they access reason and memory. And they become aware of this inspired idea of what they would love to do. And immediately they begin to reason away. I'd never be able to do that. I mean, because look at your past, look at your memory, what your memory says you can do. You've never been able to do that. Remember when you tried to do that other thing? You're not going to start a cleaning business. Don't you remember the last business you had when you were 5 years old? And Gary told you outside that you were gonna do this and you were gonna do that. How you gonna do this? How you gonna do that? It sounds so logical. Well, yeah, that's true. I'm not any good at business. Okay. And before you know it, your dream is dead on arrival. It didn't even get a chance. It didn't even get a breath of life. I mean, we just kill it. We kill it as soon as it comes in.
Don't forget to like this episode, subscribe to the channel, and ask your question at ladiesofwealth.com.